Good morning, brothers and sisters of Christ. Welcome to another testimonial interview. And today we have Sister Vanessa Diaz. I know her from our church, Calvary Life in Gardena. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Awesome. Did you do your morning cardio already? Good.
I sure did.
All right. So, like I said, I met her. She goes to our church, but we go to a big church. So it's funny because before I met you, I remember, you know how you walking by, passing through services. I seen you a couple of times, and you kind of stand out. Like you can tell, like the people that work out. And I was like, oh damn, that girl works out. She looks buff. All right, cool. And that was it. And then when we met the first time we did the gym life, and then you came, I was like, oh, that's that one girl I saw that one time. I was like, oh, okay. And then, got to know you a little bit like that. So that's cool. So, yeah, I can spot you a mile away. Oh, man, all right, buffer than me, all right. So, these interviews are done ultimately for the glory of Christ, right? We want to know a little bit about you, what the Lord has done in your life, because we all have a past and we've all gone through some stuff, and we never know. It might be a girl that listens to your testimony and could be inspired, going through maybe some of the things that you went through. So we want to know how the Lord has helped you and got you to where you're at now. So before we start, can you give me a quick 30, 60-second summary of who you are, your name, where you're from? Do you have kids? Are you married? What church you go to? Do you serve? A quick intro, and then we'll get into the specifics.
Yeah, so my name is Vanessa. I am a mom of two beautiful girls, 15-year-old Alessa, 10-year-old, well, she'll soon to be 15, and 10-year-old Ava. I also do bodybuilding. I have a full-time job. I manage 2 wellness centers that helps with bringing back bone density naturally. I also run Buff Babe protein donuts on the side and personal training every now and then. For those who really want to lose weight, just kind of guide them in the gym. And yeah, I go to Calvary Life. Been going there for 2 years already.
2 years. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'm a baby Christian still. Gave myself to Christ in 20.
Okay. Awesome.
24 April.
Okay. Cool. All right. Let's go back to the beginning of your life. Tell me a little bit about your childhood, how you grew up, maybe the first 5 years of your life, where you grew up, your family, things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Both parents married. Both of my parents were tennis players, so I got involved with a little bit of tennis. They teach me at a young age. School was always a good girl at school. No problems there.
Okay.
And yeah, also by my grandmother. Both parents worked, so the childhood was great. Was a Barbie fanatic, so I always played with Barbies.
Where did you grow up at? Like what city and areas did you grow up in?
I grew up in the city of Inglewood and then Lenox.
Oh, Lenox. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So you said you were a good kid. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have 2 brothers, 2 younger brothers. I'm the oldest and the only girl.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Cool. And how was that being the only girl with 2 other brothers?
Actually, it wasn't bad. I mean, I was always in my own world. I never really felt like I was tomboyish because I had to grow up with boys. I kind of always did my own thing, playing with my dolls, going to school. So, but definitely taking on the role in helping my mom, taking care of them. So that matured me a lot.
Okay. And both of your parents were in your life during your childhood?
Yeah, during my childhood, and they separated around my teens, 15s area.
Okay. So would you say, tell me just quickly how your elementary school days, what type of little girl were you? You said you were a good kid, good student, you didn't get in trouble or nothing, you were just normal kid?
No, elementary school. Yeah, elementary school was pretty normal. I was really overweight. I can tell you that. I didn't really get picked at, but I also didn't get paid attention too much. But I also isolated myself a lot. Just did my schoolwork. So that was all through elementary.
Why would you say you isolated yourself? Why would you say you isolated yourself?
I'm not too sure. I don't really understand the psychological reason of that. I just always, even to this day, like I'm just in my own little world. Okay. I think it's more peaceful for me.
So what do you call those? The introvert? Would you consider yourself an introvert?
Yes and no, because when I am out and about, I'm like just like talking to everybody. Okay. So okay. It really depends.
Okay, cool. All right, talk to me about your junior high. That's usually when most of us start getting into trouble. So how was your junior high years?
So junior high was, towards the end of junior high is when I started getting involved with like a bunch of punk rockers and heavy metal people and smoking weed and drinking alcohol. And that's when I started getting involved a little bit more of that. And I think maybe because the fact that both of my parents, that's when they started having problems. And majority of the time I didn't really see them. I was just at my grandma's house. She would be the main caregiver while my both parents worked. And I didn't really play with dolls anymore. So I was like, I had to get my mind somewhere else. So that was within my surroundings. So I fell into it.
So your parents' separation really, I think it affects all of us.
So that was middle school.
Yeah. So your parents separating had a great impact on you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and to all of us. How did your brothers take it?
Yeah.
What about your brothers? How did they handle the separation?
My middle brother, the middle brother, he handled it pretty hard as well. My younger brother, he was very small. He was 2-3 years old. So as a kid, it didn't really affect him because then my mom ended up having a boyfriend and she's still part of his life. So he was kind of like the father figure. But now that I see him older as a 20, the effect of my parenting and the resentment and everything that he has towards him right now.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. So you said that you hung around a lot of the punk rockers, and like, what was it about that specific group that attracted you to them?
Punk rockers.
Like, what was it about them that attracted you to them?
You know what? I think it was just different, very different. I don't know, anything that's different and out of the ordinary, I get intrigued. So everybody in the school were like the pretty girls and the pretty boys with like the apple bottom jeans and the Ugg boots and the hoop earrings with the chola eyebrows. Like that was the whole thing, in the baggy jeans, kind of like Sean Paul era.
Yeah.
So everybody and their mama was into that. So when I started seeing like these punk rockers with the tight jeans and like gothic look and the ring bells, I was like, oh, I like that. That's interesting. And just the music, like that heavy metal music kind of really, I felt, I guess, a lot of the anger in me when my parents separated. I kind of like resembled to it. And it just made me feel good.
You know, sometimes I've heard that we feel that we blame ourselves for our parents separating. Did you ever do that? Did you kind of blame yourself for it? The anger that you had was part of because of the separation of your parents. I've heard, and sometimes some people, not everyone, that sometimes they take blame for that. Did you ever feel that way?
Yeah, totally, 100%. I remember a quick story when I was 14 and my parents were having problems and I got to witness a lot of things. I remember one day my mom asked me, she's like, Mija, do you think your dad and I should separate? And I was like, logical, the answer is yes, right? With all this troublesome that was going on. And she's like, okay. So then the next couple days they had split. So till that day, it stuck with me as in like, oh man, was it my fault just because I said yes? And there's been a couple times throughout the years where my mom would be like, oh, remember you said yes on this of us, your dad separating? And I'm like, oh yeah, because it's like logical. And in my head, I'm like, well, why would a 14-year-old get questioned that? But there's been many times where she like brought up that statement over and over. So throughout the years, it really like I buried under the rug, but it would creep out every now and then. And yeah.
Okay, and you think that's where the drinking, the smoking, the hanging out with that type of crowd, it pushed you towards them?
I think it did, to really numb the pain of feeling the guilt.
Is there anything else that was going on in your life around that time besides your parents' separation that was maybe you can think back it was affecting you negatively, or it was only that?
It was that, and the fact that my dad, like, not only did they separated, but he took off to Mexico. So I didn't even get to see my dad for 3-4 years.
Oh, man.
And I didn't really get to hear from him for the first year because he just took off. So that really took a toll on me as well.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So now what happened? Tell me about your high school days. What was going on in your high school days?
So high school days was like a 50-50, like 50% doing good because I would do like AB classes and I would get good grades and I would stay up and grind and do all my projects. But then the other 50%, I would do stuff behind my mom and my grandma's back. Like I would still go out and drink and I would smoke in the back when everybody's sleeping. And I would do a bunch of desmadres, So,
yeah.
So it's like I would cover up with doing good at school, but then yet again, I would be doing this on the hush hush. So,
okay. And were you hanging around the same crowd of people?
It would be around the same crowd of people, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Around at this point, there was still no fitness in your life, right? No God, no fitness. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Tell me, did you ever get like suspended or expelled or anything from school?
No, I didn't. But I remember when the Mexican rallies were going on, like "Si se puede" type of thing, and people would ditch school. That I would use that opportunity to ditch school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what happened? Tell me a little bit after high school, like from the ages of, I don't even know how old you are, but from the ages of 18 to 21, what was going on around that time?
So during that time, that's where I graduated high school. I went to Cal State LA. I was trying to apply for the RN program. And during that time was between the ages of 15 to that age, 21, was a very difficult time for me because I had to obviously put my pants on and help support my mom with rent. So at the age of 15, I've already had my job. I was helping my mom with the bills, with the rent, with groceries, whatnot. And we moved out here to Torrance to this nice apartment complex, luxuries called Willow Tree. And man, they had tennis courts, they had pool, jacuzzi, it had everything. So I took the initiative. I had a caregiving job, worked full time, and did schooling to support my brothers and my mom. And then that's where I met the father of my kids at 19.
Doing a caregiving job?
No, at the apartment complex.
Oh, the apartment complex. Okay.
Yeah, I met him there. And then next thing you know, I'm pregnant.
How did that happen?
I'm pregnant at 19, had the baby at 20, and then there you go. I have to be a mom.
Okay. So how did that change your life for good or bad during that time?
So during that season, it was a very, very difficult time for the fact that obviously the relationship with the father of my kids was not a healthy relationship from the beginning, from the get-go. He got incarcerated when I was pregnant. So he was in there throughout the whole pregnancy. He was in there until 6 months when the baby was already 6 to 7 months. So I did fall into deep postpartum depression. I'm very blessed that my mom took the first 3 months off, because I kid you not, postpartum depression is a serious thing. Like I didn't believe it till I experienced it, and the thoughts that were going through my head were not, like, they were ridiculous. And so thankfully my mom took the time to really help me take care of the baby, because if not, I don't think I would have any baby or myself here.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What okay, you don't have to get into specifics, but whatever you're comfortable. Like what type of things were you thinking? Like what help us understand what it kind of feels like.
So so the type of postpartum depression I experience, because I'm not sure if many women experience the same, is definitely suicidal thoughts. Not only suiciding myself, but really killing the child. Every time the baby would cry, and I would don't know what to do, and then I would start crying because I wouldn't know what to do, and all I wanted to do was just literally put the pillow on the baby and just shush the baby, and just thinking of doing that. Then I start thinking okay, after this happens, then I'm gonna just kill myself, type of thing.
Oh man.
So for the first 4 months, it was like that, and I didn't went to go get professional help because I felt embarrassed that these thoughts were going in my head. So my mom was there for me.
Okay. And were you still able to kind of work or anything during this time?
No, I did not work. I didn't have the mental state, emotionally state. I didn't work.
So your mom was the one helping you maybe financially during this time, or what?
I had disability.
Okay.
I had that.
Okay. All right. So that was around what age?
That was at 21.
21. Okay. And then from that time and then you have another child, right?
Right.
So from that time to when your next child comes, what's going on in your life there?
So within that time, it was also my whole adulthood was, to this day, it was a very difficult time. That's when the father of my kids came out, and he wanted to become a professional MMA fighter. So he had told me that in order for him to pursue that, he needs to go full time on training. Y no sé qué. So I was like, me being motherly type of thing, I'm like, okay, well, I will be the provider so you can pursue your dream, type of thing. I'm the type of ride or die girl. I will do whatever it takes. So yeah, long story short, I was the one working graveyard shifts, working another job, trying to figure out side hustles with meal prep, anything to support my family so this man can support his dream in becoming an MMA fighter. And eventually he did. He made it to the UFC, lasted there for a bit. And that's how my whole phase with the kids and him was during that time.
So your second pregnancy, how was that compared to the first one?
The second pregnancy was much better because he was there to support me. And I was able to have it naturally, but towards the end, because a lot of doctors were pushing on having a C-section, because my first child was an emergency C-section because she had the umbilical cord cut around her neck. Oh. So they were all pushing for me to have a C-section. I didn't want to because, my goodness, that C-section recovery was horrible. I don't know how other girls say the experience was great, but mine's I had staples. I couldn't laugh. I couldn't sneeze. I couldn't cough because it would hurt so bad. And so long story short, towards when I was close to be due, 8 months, I finally found a doctor in Long Beach that said, okay, we can do it normal, but just so you know, you have to sign this waiver because 80% of the chances are that if your C-section erupts, you can possibly die. So at your will, if that happens, is it okay? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. It's okay. I just want the baby to live, type of thing. And
how old were you when this happened?
I was 25.
25, okay.
25.
So your first one was at 19, and then the second was at 25.
Yeah, first one was at 20, second one was at 5. So they're 5 years apart.
Okay. So at this point, there's still no God and there's still no fitness.
Exactly. No God, no fitness.
All right. So let's go from 25, couple, maybe another. Again, I don't know how old you are, but let's go another 5 years from 25 to 30. What's going
Okay.
on in your life?
So 25 to 30, that's when the father and I separated. There's so much going on. That's a whole nother story, but
Yeah.
there's just so much going on. I couldn't take it anymore. I started like falling into depression, suicidal thoughts again, because everything
Yeah.
that was going on. And I ended up just leaving and going with my mom, and it was just very difficult because my oldest, she'll be like, "Why? I want to be with dad. Why aren't you guys together? Why are we spending?" Like all those questions was running through her head, and
Yeah.
it would make me break down because now I feel like it's my fault for leaving my family, even though the stuff that was going on was not my fault, type of thing. So that happened, and I had to work my way from the bottom up again with the job, um, creating everything from beginning to support my family, to try to find a place to move out. And I eventually
Mhm.
did later on in Gardena with my kids. So yeah, I had to start from the rock bottom.
Okay, so from here on out, we kind of get it now. Now we want to let's get to some positive. Tell
Yeah,
me, how did fitness come first, or Christ? What
fitness
came first?
came first.
Okay, tell us how you got into fitness, and then how eventually you got to going to church and everything. So
Yeah, so fitness started in 2023.
okay.
I was I was over 200 pounds, didn't like how I looked, didn't like how I feel, and just seeing how my kids were kind of cycling the same habits as me. And I was like, that's where I hit the turning point. I was like, okay, I have two girls. I'm a woman. If I don't show the example, they're going to grab the example from society. And I do not want that. So I started making the change. My brother, my baby brother was like, oh, just come with me here to the UFC gym and train with the boys. I'm like, oh, okay. So we went over, we hit upper body like they always do. And I just started showing up every now and then with my brother. And my brother and I relationship got really close because we started working out together. And one time we were training legs and we were hearing this podcast. His name is Bedra Kulians. And he's like, just do something for 6 months and I bet you it will change your life. I'm like, I'm already training, strength training 2-3 times out of the week. Let me do this full time and see what I can do for 6 months. So I hired a coach in the UFC gym um, to train me for bodybuilding. I was like, I'll be down for bodybuilding. I mean, this category wellness, I just the fact that I get to grow my glutes and my legs, I want it. So he took me under his wing. Um, and then, yeah, I did it for 6 months and I saw the change. And then after that, I was like, mentally, it like really changed me, the discipline, the consistency, the seeing how it impacted my kids as well. And just seeing the physique change really like hit that dopamine. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I want this for sure.
So when you
And
say
I
you
just took
hired,
it to a
I'm
Mhm.
sorry. So when you say you hired him for bodybuilding, like you were wanted to compete, or you just wanted to?
I had told him, I had told him that I want to train as a bodybuilder and
Okay.
see how my physique looks.
Okay.
And if it looks capable of doing, let's just go for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So you're working now. You're okay. Okay. Cool. And then, all right. What else? Tell us what else. How is your life changing now? Your emotions, your everything. How is it changing now that fitness is involved?
It's definitely changing more positive. I had more energy instead of feeling like slump. I had like I more positive for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, okay, started UFC gym, transformation. Then when did you realize, like, you know what? I want to compete.
That later in 2023, so the coach from the UFC gym, I ended up not working with him anymore. He was getting too pricey, so I ended up finding like an online coaching, this big agency called Fit Body Fusion. And yeah, it was all virtual, and I did that for 8 months and competed in 2024 for my first wellness show got 7th place. And
what's
then,
a wellness show? I don't even know. I've never even heard that one.
wellness is just a division where judges judge only the lower portion. So your hamstring, your quads, your glutes, the
Okay.
separation on that, not really upper body.
Okay. So that was your very, very first one. And
Yeah.
okay. And how was that experience?
It was an experience. Yeah. It was fun though, I'm not gonna lie.
But
I
were
didn't
you
know I didn't know what I was I didn't
know
know.
what you were doing?
Yeah, no.
So it didn't your 7th place, it didn't bother you? You were just happy to be
It
there? Or
did.
what?
No, yeah.
Oh,
It bothered me. It bothered me so much that I think God had aligned, and this is me not even knowing Christ just yet.
Mhm.
I given myself to Christ maybe a couple months after that, when I lost my job in the restaurant that I've been working for 9 years. Because when I went back to the UC gym, and I went on a time that I never go at night, and I brought my daughter with me, this married couple over 60s, approached me and be like, "Hey, you got some good quads." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And I look at them, I'm like, "Yo, you guys are pretty yoked too." And then they asked me, do I compete bodybuilding? I was like, "Yeah, I just competed like last month." And long story short, they were old school bodybuilders.
Okay.
So, and they took me under their wing, and the guy was like, I think you should do women's physique, because your upper body, I think you can grow that and make it more symmetry. I'm like, all right, cool. Long story short, they are the one who brought me to Calvary Life. They've been going for 20 years. So when I started putting everything together, even though God says don't rely on our own understanding.
Hold on, really quick. Okay, so let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
They had been coming to Calvary Live. Well, it was probably Calvary Chapel still by that time.
Yeah, Calvary
So
Chapel.
how did they witness to you? What were they telling you to get you to say, you know what, let me go? Did they just invite you, or would they talk to you about Jesus while you worked out, or how did that work?
Yeah, they invited me to work. They said I have to pass this 30-day evaluation, because he said, if I can't work with you and we don't sync and you are stubborn, then I don't want to train you. Which I understand, because I'm the same way with when I want to train clients. I'm like, all right, if you're not motivated, you're not disciplined, and you're not willing to put the effort that you have to put, because I'm going to put the effort too, then I don't want to train.
Yeah.
You know? And so, yeah, I showed up, mind you, these people train at 10 p.m., 10 to like 12. So I trained like that for a whole year, which I will never do again. That was a whole experience. It was crazy. But I was at the point where, like, I want to win my next show. I will do whatever it takes. I don't care. Okay. And so, yeah, they invited me the next day to train. And once we got there, and before I was already going to start working out, they're like, no, we're going to pray. I was like, we're going to pray before working out? What is this? And I just got like a spark. I felt like a big rush of energy. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I was like, God, is this at your will? And we just prayed before we worked out, and it was just beautiful. And yeah.
This was 2023,
24? This was 2025.
Oh, 2025. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Now tell me, let's move forward now. Let's get away from fitness. Now take me to your time at Calvary. What happened, which leads us to where you're at now. So how did it go?
So before Calvary, I was going to another church in Hawthorne called New Life Community. And how I found that church is my younger brother and I, we had started a meal prep company called Iconic Meals. And Pastor Angel in the UC gym actually approached us and be like, hey, it is, what's that fall? It's like a fall fest. Mm-hmm. And he had invited us to be a vendor. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I told my brother, I was like, before we go become a vendor, let's go check out the church on a Sunday. He's like, all right, cool. So we went, and that's where Jesus came into my life. Well, he was already always there next to me, but that's when I had accepted him. I was like, I was crying, I was laughing, I was so many emotions of what the sermon was about, and I just felt full. So out of everything that I was doing in my past life, trying to really fill myself, this is one thing that really fulfilled me. I was like, whoa, I've never felt this before.
Mm-hmm.
So and then later on, I got baptized there, April 14, 2024. Yeah, April 2024.
Okay.
And then that's when I went to Calvary, when I met those people.
Okay.
Michael
And
Nikki.
why did you end up changing churches if you were?
They had invited me to go
Uh-huh.
to that church. They were talking about Pastor Chet and how he's funny and the gospel and the worship music. I'm like, I'm the type of person where I'm not like, I'm very loyal to church or to person or whatever. So I was like, I kept battling, but my spirit kept telling me, just go check it out. So I did. It's the worship music and Pastor Chet that really touched me so much. Like that worship music compared to a small church worship was like insane. Like I felt like a burst of just energy, a burst of just light. I was like, wow, what is this feeling? Like this is amazing. And then how Pastor Chet preached, I was like, I've never felt so many mixed emotions in 1 hour. And ever since then, and because they have 3 services, so I'm able, depending on like my schedule, I'm able to go to anyone that works. Compared to the other one, it was just 1 service, so it's like, damn, if I miss it, how am I going to watch it? You know?
Okay. Cool. Awesome. So, tell us how you met Steve. Steve.
Steve, I met him at Powerhouse actually, but before that, I remember seeing a guy playing what do they call the bongos?
Yeah.
Up there. I was like, man, that guy is
Huge.
huge.
Yeah, I remember seeing
Yeah.
that too. Like that.
And then one time, Pastor Chet, my I call them my spiritual parents, the old school bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Their names Michael and Nikki, which is funny because I remember when we were working out, I would always tell them like, hey, I don't think bodybuilding is something that you guys are here in my life for. Like it's something deeper. And then being my spiritual parents, because long story short, the wife, she had a daughter, but the relationship has been gone for over 20 years. So she sees me as her daughter. So if the God's placing, it's amazing. But going back to your question with Steve. So yeah, Pastor Chet came and joined us on a workout at the UC gym with us one day.
No way.
Yeah.
Chet Love was at UFC? No
Pastor
way.
Chet and the other pastor, the young guy.
Zach?
El Güerito.
Pastor Zach? I think his name is Zach.
Yeah, Pastor Zach.
No, I can't picture Chet Love under a squad rack. No, I can't picture that.
And then Michael, my spiritual father, was like, yeah, she's gonna compete soon. And then Pastor's just like, oh yeah, one of the guys that plays the bongos, he just competed too. I'm like, oh man, that yoked guy, huh? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, so that's the last time I ever heard of them, until one time I see Steve walking down Powerhouse when I'm hitting shoulders. And then I was like, hey, are you that guy that goes to Calvary Life? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you play that bongos? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I've heard about you. And that's when he started talking to me about gym life. He's like, and he came a day where he was supposed to be resting, but he came to the gym. I was like, dude, I think this was your encounter with me, and talk about gym life.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Man, nobody recorded Pastor Chet in the gym. Oh my God, I want to see that. I want to see him. Okay, cool. So what are you serving or fellowshipping in the church, like the women's study, or are you doing anything right now in the church?
Yeah, so I was serving at the coffee life for a little bit. And then I was doing the women's Bible study on Tuesdays.
Oh.
Yeah, but I haven't done that in a while.
Why is that, if you don't mind me asking?
Just because my daughter, she started getting more classes with tennis.
Oh, okay.
Started involving her more with that, and then my work schedule, and then now that I've been competing, the timing has just not been there.
But do you have at least a a handful of strong sisters in church that you can count on?
You know, I'm going to be real honest. I think I have not created a fellowship with women in there yet. And I'm not sure if it's because I need to take the initiative to talk to people, but I have, and I really want that so bad. I just don't know how to get that in my life yet.
What about I know there's only a few, but what about the girls like what's her name, Rosie, and then there's that other girl, I don't know her name. There's a couple of them that I saw at the meeting before.
Yeah,
are you
no,
you don't,
I don't know. I don't know them at all.
You don't know them at all? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Okay. Well, I would encourage you personally that if you find a group, that's what took me to that next level. But it's when I started serving and when I started in the men's group. And man, it just next level. That's all I'm gonna tell you. It really has been encouraging to me getting involved. I get it, kids and work and all that stuff, but I think if you try to do this walk on your own, it's gonna be hard for you.
No, I know, and that's something I'm really considering. Obviously, like right now in my life, spiritually, is really being disciplined with reading the devotion in the morning, because especially with being prep, I'm just so autopilot where I push everything else back. And I don't want to, I'm at the point in my life where I don't want to idolize bodybuilding because I don't, because Christ can take it away like this. And so I'm at the stage and season of my life where I'm trying really difficult to establish the word and devotion this, and take it the same as my take it the same approach as my fitness with discipline and consistency. So
imagine the results you get from your physical fitness, from your dedication. Imagine you would do the same thing in your spiritual fitness.
Yeah, right.
So, and I'm glad you said that, because I think not just bodybuilding, but anything we can idolize and put ahead of God, and that's a problem if we do that. So it could be anything, a relationship, a job, or anything, whatever. We have to be careful that we don't idolize anything else. That Christ has to remain and will always be number one. And it's tough. I get it. It's tough. But so what do you think? What do you think are areas in your walk right now that you need? I know you kind of touched a little bit upon it, but what areas in your walk would you like to improve right now? How do you think you can get stronger spiritually right now?
I would definitely want to improve in getting into the word more. So in the sense of like going to Bible study, really break down some of the stories and the meaning behind it, and incorporating it in my life, see it as a perspective. So that's where I am in my season of my life.
But coming to faith in Christ, how would you say your has changed your life? I remember we discussed the issues you had from your past and how you felt. Right now, do you still feel that way?
Oh no, I feel like Christ changed me 360.
Yeah.
Like, man, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I can give you two testimonies, and it has to do with, I think it has to do with bodybuilding in a way. But I see beyond the bodybuilding. It's just in general in life. But
go ahead, sure.
Okay, so one was 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know, when I was losing my job, when I lost my job, and that's where I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna surrender. So I surrendered to God, and that was the first time I even said, like, at your will, Lord. And I was in the point where I was going to lose my car, it's going to be repossessed, blah, blah, blah. I ended up moving with my mom. So during that time, I ended up getting blessed. Like, I ended up getting blessed with a big check from an accident I had 3 years ago that paid for my apartment. And I was like, wow, I got blessed still to financially pay for the online training for the bodybuilding show that I was going to do in 2024. I was like, wow. So all these things all these blessings just keep happening. I was like, wow, I can see that this is him, the man above, doing all this for me. So that's one testimony, because things don't happen coincidentally. I don't know, I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then just recently, literally last week, as to why I was telling you, I don't think it was the devil try to overcast our interview. I think it was God, because last week I actually got notice that I'm going to be losing my job. And
What?
yeah, so apart from that, I was like, wow, so what am I going to do now? And it's been in my heart. I think God really wants me to do like personal training, especially with women, and like empower them and really speak life to them through my experience. And so I just kept getting blessed with, like, I got a random Zelle from a sister in Christ of X amount of money that's going to pay for my whole show in June. Because that's what I was stressing about. I was like, wow, I'm going to nationals in June and I'm going to come back to no job. How am I going to pay for all this, you know? So all these blessings within this week just happen. And then people at my job, like the members, they end up buying a bunch of donuts this weekend that it was able to support for like a bunch of things that I had to pay out. I was like, wow, this is literally God on his, like, how? So just the fact that I see that, and I just see how all these blessings happen, I have, like, I don't know what to say. Like, I it's like I cannot believe. I have to believe, and I have to share and let the people know, like, this is, God is real, Jesus is real, Christ is king. Like, all you got to do is believe.
Amen. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. Really quick, we have a couple minutes. Tell us a little bit about your protein donuts, which by the way are delicious.
What do you want to know about it?
Not just how did you come up with it? I mean, how can people order and all that stuff?
Yeah. So I created protein donuts because when I first started going to the UFC gym, they had protein donuts there from this one girl called Meals by Mel, and man, they were so good. And she ended up stopped making them because the macros weren't accurate. They were like double the amount.
Oh, man.
So they just stopped carrying her stuff. I was like, damn. And I started trying like all these other protein donut spots, and it was just like too dry, didn't taste really good. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just create my own because I love sweets. Man, if I could have pan dulce every day, I would have pan dulce every day. So yeah, it took me like 2 months to create the donut. It's moist, it's fluffiness, everything. And I was like, I can't gatekeep this. I need to share it. So I just started sharing it out.
I still remember the first time you brought me my first bag. It was like in boxes.
Yeah.
I was at junior high and I went to the back and I ate like 4 of them. I was like, oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, they're so good. When I make them, I have to be tempted not to eat it, man.
That's why I told you I couldn't order them, man, because I would eat the whole thing and then my macros would be off. I'm like, nah. But yeah, they're delicious. Cool. So let me ask you this. So, well, you know what? Real quick, tell us about your recent competition. I think it was like a week ago or 2 weeks. You got first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how that went. And
yeah, I was in Tennessee, Memphis. My first time out of the States in the South. My first time competing without my family and friends there. But I was very blessed that my coach was there. And it was my first time actually meeting him because we do everything virtually.
Yeah.
And yeah, the experience was great. I loved it. Won first place in women's bodybuilding, won second place in women's physique. But I honestly feel that they gave it to... No, I'm serious. I think they gave it... Because if you look at the picture between her and me, I came more shredded than she did. She still has a lot of fluff. And she even said it on her post, like, next time I need to be more conditioned. But I honestly feel it has to do with politics. I don't think they wanted to give me both wins because they want more people to go to junior nationals in June. Yeah. So I think they gave it to her because of that. They want more people on that show.
What's it? You said first place in women's bodybuilding and second, what's the difference between those two categories?
Women's bodybuilding, it's more like more robotic, more muscular, more like manly type of flow. Women's physique is displaying your symmetry of muscle as well, but more in a feminine way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your intention was to do both?
My intent, yeah, my coach said just let's do both. I mean, because women's physique and women's bodybuilding is kind of the same, and when it comes to posing, so
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But moving forward, I'm not doing both. I'm just sticking to women's physique.
Okay. Okay. And then you got your next show is this week, right?
Yeah, Saturday in Anaheim.
Anaheim. All right. Cool. Cool. And if you win that one, what's next after that?
After that is Junior Nationals in Tennessee, Chattanooga, June 20th. And that would be my last show potentially for this year. And I'm going to take a good year to grow.
Okay. But eventually, is one of your goals to get a pro card?
Yeah, that is the goal.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Now, let me ask you this. How can you incorporate your business and your fitness? Okay, look, how can I'm not saying you do this, but I think bodybuilders have a reputation, a negative one at times, because of their personality, the way they come off sometimes. You as a Christian now, how do you think you can promote or even just do your business and your bodybuilding more to honor God instead of just yourself? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we do all things for the glory of Christ. So how do you think? Because I think even like with me, some of the things that I do, I'm like, okay, I was messing up there. That's one of the things I learned in Steve's class. I was messing up in certain areas. So we all have room to grow. So in those two things, your protein donut company and then your bodybuilding, like how can you use that to glorify God?
How can I use that? Well, for one is the way how I carry. I'm not gonna say myself. I always try to put everything into perspective. Like if Jesus was next to me and I see him, like how would I be as a person? So through bodybuilding and through my donuts, when I encounter people in general, I'm compassionate, I'm kind, I'm loving, because those are the attributes, right?
Yeah.
That they want of Jesus, want of how Jesus is. I mean, obviously he throw fits too, like he be flipping tables, right? So when when times have to happen like that, I will be flipping tables. But I mean, also like with bodybuilding, our body is a temple. We have to take care of it.
Yeah.
Through nutrition, through, I mean, like back in the day when during Jesus time, like they had no hot Cheetos, they got no corn fried with cheese, like it would be fruits, it would be vegetables, it would be protein, grains. So it's like really taking care of our temple, because if we take care of our temple, we live longer in earth. And if we live longer in earth, guess what? More opportunity to talk about Christ, planting the seeds, bringing more people closer to Christ.
That's the key right there, I think.
Yeah. So it's like, and then with the donut business, like I'm going to be encountering more people. So it's like more opportunity to plant the seed. So.
Okay. Awesome. All right. You got a couple minutes left. Any last minute words of encouragement or wisdom that you want to leave anyone who maybe grew up similar to you, or in someone who maybe struggled with weight back then or currently are?
Yeah. All I can say is there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Jesus provides the light, the lamp. You just got to walk in faith, obviously not by sight. And that's it. Consistency and discipline, and with everything, with your mental state, your emotions, your spiritual life, your physical life. It takes time. And it seems like, and sometimes it feels like there's no end to it and you're stuck, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. Trust me.
All right, sister. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you around.